Yo, what's going on YouTube? It's your man Myron Thomas Sr. back with another edition of Swear Entertainment. Been taking a little break. It's been a few topics to talk about, but you know what I'm saying? I've really been just doing a lot of research. I got a lot of other videos coming up. Uh, you know, plus, I ain't gonna lie, this time of year is kind of like always iffy for me because it's like I got. I really didn't watch the combine, the NFL combine, which I usually try to keep up on the combine. You know, who's looking good, who's not looking good. You know, some of the players that from watching college football that were in the combine and stuff like that. And so this year I really didn't really get into it. I've really been trying to get stuff done around my house and what I'm saying, stuff like that. But really just trying to get stuff in the house together. So that's going on. Started baseball, got kind of delayed because of of the mid little strike they had, but they was able to resolve it. They lost like 2-3 weeks worth of games because of it. Everything up, but baseball has started. Then we got you know um, basketball playoffs. Um, I keep joking with everybody, and I ain't gonna lie. I have to. This is probably be the last thing you hear me say about the Lakers, probably until they find a new coach, which everybody said in like the All Star break. They planned on Frank Vogel being gone after the All Star break, but the Lakers organization has a little bit more class about themselves. They'll say we'll wait to the end of the season. Once the season's over, then we'll fire you. Stuff like that. So I him getting fired was not a surprise. The Lakers had one of the worst seasons uh, in their history, uh, especially considering the expectations and the players and the roster that they have. Which you got at least four guys on there, four maybe even five guys on there that are like Hall of Famers. Considering the only bona fide Hall of Famer is LeBron James. Everybody else would just be there because of longevity, stuff like that. They would consider Carmelo Anthony a Hall of Famer because of his stats, of course. Even though he hasn't won anything, never really have been on a winning team or anything like that. So, Brownie trying to raid the video again. But it's um Anthony Davis, when he's healthy, is top five, top 10 player in the league. If he keeps up that pace, if he, even if he could just put 2 or 3 good seasons together, he will be into that Hall of Fame type of category, I guess. Russell Westbrook, because of his averages and triple doubles and stuff like that, will be considered, is considered a Hall of Famer. And that these guys could not get it together, and then all of a sudden LeBron says, forget it, I'm going to just stack, what was it called? A lot of my friends call it stack stuffing, which you don't need to do. You're already, you know what I'm saying? You didn't need to really go out there and try to score 50, and then you pick the games which you wanted to do that against. You didn't go against the tougher teams. You did it against the easy teams, which made it easier for you. Which, and everybody said, well, that's, and to the credit of LeBron fans and so that they say, man, that's what you're supposed to do, and everything else. But for guys who really respect the game, who really respect good basketball, good players, stuff like that, and everything else, you'll want to score 50. Like I would say, Jordan would take, right, scoring 50 on a tougher team, right, over scoring 30 over a weaker team. That's Jordan's mentality. The tougher the team, the more I'm going to give you. And if I end up with 50 or whatever and everything goes, great. You know what I'm saying? It's like this. Yeah, y'all ain't got no defense. You know what I'm saying? Everything else. And get some weak team each other right here. He's like, okay, I'm going to play with y'all. Let's everybody get they due diligence, and let's have fun with them. But but it is what it is. And my opinion, he takes blame. He takes the blame. LeBron James takes the blame for the failure of the season. No, he cannot control AD being hurt, but AD was your guy. Your guy. When you came to LA, you made it. You told Magic, I want Anthony Davis on the team with me, right? Everything else. And you thought that with you and AD and everything else, and with some of the younger talent that they had there, y'all was gonna do it. Y'all was gonna do it, and y'all haven't done anything. Well, the main thing is it makes the bubble championship mean less and less and less. It does. See? Brownie and Ray in the video. But it makes it less. It makes it less and less. Because it turns around here, it makes it look like only reason why y'all won is because y'all had 4 months off, 4 or 5 months off, right? That if the NBA and everything goes, wouldn't have did the postponement and everything goes, that probably that you wouldn't have won that championship. And I personally believe that they wouldn't. I personally believe that. I believe that Anthony Davis probably would have got hurt because they did they stopped playing game one like in that February or March, right? So I think he would have got hurt right before the playoffs, would not have been available for the playoffs. Maybe LeBron could push him past the first round, maybe, but he doesn't get into the second. He doesn't, or maybe nudge them into the Western Conference Finals, but they don't make the finals. No, they don't make the finals, and it just makes it less and less and less. And like when I was looking at Speak for Yourself, they were saying because there's no emotional attachment to it. It wasn't, the fans didn't get to enjoy it. There was no home crowd, there was no parade, there was no nothing. It was more of just, okay, they won, broke up the whole team. Everybody went their separate ways. And the most exciting thing was watching guys who used to be Lakers when they come to LA receive their rings. Stuff like that. It was like, wow, that was, and it makes it less and less and less. In 4 years of you being in LA, you got hurt the first year, you missed the playoffs, right? Second year, right? You would, there's no doubt the Lakers the second year, they would have made the playoffs. They would have made the playoffs. But like I said, if they would have continued to play games and stuff like that, I believe Anthony Davis will not been available for the playoffs. Anthony Davis not available for the playoffs. Lakers don't make it to the Western Conference Finals. If they do make it and everything else, they don't win that year. You know, you go to and you face a very momentum driven Miami Heat team, which now it doesn't look like momentum in that they were actually a legitimate team that should have been there, because they are the top seed in the East this year, not the defending champion Milwaukee Bucks, but you know, Miami, Milwaukee Bucks ended up like being like third. They were the number three seed. But to turn around here, you come back the following year, Anthony Davis is in and out, in and out. You broke up the team. LeBron James, in and out, injuries, all the type of stuff. Father Time, catch it up. And you do the play-in tournament and everything goes. You had to play the play-in tournament. You turn around here, you get that eighth seed, and you end up having to play, you know, the Phoenix Suns. The only two games you won out of that series were the two games that Anthony Davis gutted it out and played, and was the best player on the Lakers besides, you know, LeBron. And that was it. Bounced in the first round. Right? And then they, you know, man, oh, it's the first time that he's been bouncing the first round, and look how many times Mike was no, and I get that a lot from LeBron fans. They say, well, you know, LeBron ain't never been bounced off the first round. I said, yeah. But also LeBron turned around here, didn't get into the playoffs until like his third or fourth year in the league. Mike came in his rookie year, made the playoffs. No. Mike willed this team with basically a losing record, turn around here and missed 65 games and got his team in the playoffs. You know what I'm saying? And ended up facing one of the probably best Eastern Conference teams, you know, that was even better than in the Boston Celtics. You know, when you got,
Please excuse the interruption.
LeBron never faced guys like that.
It could be rather important.
Granted that that even though the Bulls lost, but you know, that was the level of competition, I would say, that Jordan was facing at that time, and that he wasn't until, you know, they really basically restructured the team, you know, that, you know, Jordan was able to get further along in the playoffs, you know, and it wasn't until basically, you know, he had gotten Scottie Pippen, you know, of course, you know, everybody, you know, knows all that, and it was, and for us, you know, LeBron has been the benefactor of a very weak league, a very, very weak Eastern Conference, and that when you boil it down, I mean, it's like, you know, I would have liked to see him have to play like the Milwaukee Bucks. You know what I'm saying? Or something like that, a team like that. You know what I'm saying? During his 8 year run, uh, uh, you know, really the toughest teams he faced were during his Miami years. Uh, Even though, yeah, 1 year they, uh, Cavs faced Toronto a year or so, and Boston 1 year, but it was like, these teams were more, were not really comparable to, you know what I'm saying, to what the Cavs were, and that's why the expectation for this Lakers team was so high because it was like you got basically potentially three of the top 10 guys in the league on the same team, and and that was like LeBron's biggest thing, the Lakers' biggest thing going into the season was we plan on trying to get back on top. They all three of them played together a total of, I believe they said it was like 21, 22, 23 games, something like that, 20 plus games. Their record wasn't, it was like they said, like they only won 11 games collectively, them three together. They won 33, so that means a third of the games that was won by your three best players or your three major stars. A third, just a third. Not half, not three quarters, just 1/3 of the games won. You know, and you know, I joke with a lot of people. I said, uh, when LeBron was pushing for Russell Westbrook and all this other stuff, and I'm saying LeBron think he's playing 2K. You know what I'm saying? That's the stuff we do on 2K. When you play 2K, you try to get all the best players on your team. You know what I'm saying? Everything else, and you can, you ball out with them. And like I've even said, I don't know if I've said it on my channel, but I know I've discussed it with a lot of people that LeBron was looking at the numbers. He was trying to do the analytics of it, saying that, like, for instance, if either me or AD goes down, then Russ can pick up the slack because he's capable of doing that triple double. That he's capable of turning around here and he could replace those numbers. But not looking at the player, that a lot of times he put up a lot of those numbers on some very ball hoggish, obvious type of plays. You know, Russell Westbrook is not a very good shooter. Has not been in most of his whole career. He has a hell of a first step. He can get to the basket. That's where most of his points come from. He gets his little mid-range jumper going sometimes and stuff like that. But far as really long range, he may hit a three here or there. Stuff like that. But his 3-point average is still way below average. And that a lot of times his assist comes from because now teams are forced to double him because he keeps going, he keeps hitting layups and all this type of stuff. And it was like, well, we got to get the ball out of his hand. We got to get the ball out of his hand. And, like, for instance, when he was in OKC and he was doing that big, push for the triple doubles and stuff like that when it first started, I forgot the name of the guy that was the. They don't call it center now. He basically is playing the 5, So basically, the center was big guy. So he'd end up dumping it off to him. You know what I'm saying? And he'll easily lay it in, dunk or whatever, or Russ will run, would be able to penetrate, find an open man, they, stuff like that, but it was never really just off of pure actually running an offense, never was really that. So, and even when he went to, and that's why the combination of him and James Harden never really worked, because Harden is the type of guy that has to start with the ball, and basically Russ would have to feed off of that. He's not a feed off of kind of guy. He's the guy that, has to have the ball in his hand, has to make his own shot in order for everybody else to have a shot. But sometimes there's backfire because, right, he hasn't really won anywhere with doing that. So, there was a lot of other better shooters out there. And, like I said, LeBron and them were just looking at the numbers. They're just looking at the guy averages a triple-double, an average of triple-double for the past, 3-4 seasons or something crazy like that. So, hey, yeah, we need that guy. We need that guy, and everything else. Not the guy that, is more offensively minded, and more can also play a little bit better defense. And a lot of people criticize LeBron for that, especially after the season that won. And the one and biggest joke, I'm serious. I joked and cracked jokes about the Lakers all season long. I did. I said, listen, I'm 36, 37 years old. I'm not running around chasing 21-year-olds. I'm not. I'm not going to turn around here. This boy, 19, 20 years old, full of all energy, everything goes. You think I'm about to run around this court? I done been in this league 16, 17, 18 years. I'm about to run around this thing and everything. We gonna switch. We gonna do a defensive switch and everything goes. Well, that's what we gonna do. I'm not chasing nobody, And as a coach, you understand that, but then it turns around here and it ends up biting you. That's why a lot of teams won against the Lakers, because they can't defend. They cannot defend. And then you got, and it's like, it was like just because now you know that everybody else is on the team, and especially like with the scoring and all that stuff, like with LeBron, they're like, let LeBron score 50. We don't care. Just as long as nobody else don't score. Right? So we're going to defend all these young guys. We're going to put our young guys on their young guys and everything else. And go ahead and let LeBron just do whatever he want to do. Because he can't win the game by himself. Because turn around here, but when it all boiled down to it, turned around here, yeah. He, like the night that he passed Karl Malone, they lost that game. So And then I was just and then I was watching. I love when they turn around here and they tried to do the LeBron Jordan debate. I ended that debate, way back in one of my early videos. I actually was a two-part video, and I was like, hold on. Chris Broussard said a perfect scenario. He said, hold on. What Michael did in 13 of the seasons, LeBron is still chasing going into year 20. That's a whole 7 years. And he got a 3-year jump on Jordan. A 3-year jump. Because he went straight from high school into the pros. So he gets a 3-year jump on Jordan automatically, just because he did that, and because Jordan did the 3 years in Carolina. And so I always tell everybody, if you take away 3 years from LeBron to make it fair, no. I said, no. Let's make this fair. Right? Let's make it fair. That's all I had. Right? In 13 seasons, right? What Jordan accomplished. And, saying, and if you took 13 seasons for LeBron, because I think year 13 would be like he only has 3 rings. There's like 3 rings. He has but he still doesn't have. You know what I'm saying? And I tell people that a lot of times. I said, listen, and the thing about it, and here is the thing, because you don't, we got this whole big old thing with the LeBron people that they want to throw out the useless.
Please excuse the interruption, but there's an incoming call for you, sir. It appears to be your wife.